All right, for more, let's bring in Tony Payan, director of the Center for U.S. and Mexico at Rice University's Baker Institute for Public Policy. Tony, good to have you on the show. First, your reaction to this executive order and the timing of it. Why now?
Well, first of all, I think it shows that the Biden administration understands that immigration and the border with Mexico is going to be the #1 issue in the fall campaign. There was an agreement between Democrats and Republicans in the spring. The Republicans defeated their own negotiated bill because they certainly wanted to keep that issue for the fall campaign. And the Biden administration entered into a degree of desperation, so to speak, to get that off the headlines. So that's important for the Biden administration to be seen as tough, to be seen as dealing with immigration on the border. That's, I think, the main reason. The second is Mexico had elections on June 2nd, on Sunday, and I think the Biden administration knew that the outcome, to a certain extent, was going to be influenced by Washington's actions. He didn't want to give the López Obrador administration in Mexico or his campaign the nationalist card to play, so to speak, and so they waited until after June 2nd, once the Mexico election was resolved, so that it wouldn't become a political issue in Mexico and the campaign there.
And Tony, what type of impact do you think this will actually have at the border?
Well, I think it's going to be relatively low if Mexico continues to detain migrants in transit within Mexican territory, continues to deport them very quickly, or continues to retain them at the southern border. Not very many of them are going to make it to the northern border. I know that there are some numbers that people say that migrants are not coming to the border in the numbers that they were. Honestly, they're quite high. I've just recently looked at the numbers, and they're still very high, several thousand migrants a day. Fewer than that are being allowed into the United States, and now the Biden administration is acting to allow even less or fewer migrants into the United States. Will that mean that the United States can more expeditiously deport migrants back into Mexico or detain them and deport them? That depends on Mexico. It depends on how many Mexico lets through. It depends on how many resources the Biden administration can deploy in addition to those that they have to process that they let in as quickly as they can, and then how fast they can deport them from the border. I think it's going to make a difference, but honestly, a lot of it depends in coordination with Mexico.
Yeah, and have we had any reaction from Mexico about this announcement?
The only reaction from Mexico is, of course, some concern that the Biden administration will undertake a summary deportation of migrants back into Mexico without the ability of processing them into the United States and without a binational plan to deal with those populations. I recently was in Ciudad Juarez, across from El Paso, Texas, and I can tell you that the shelters there are full. A lot of migrants are waiting for their time to get into the United States. I went through the airport in El Paso. You can see a lot of these migrants being helped by the Border Servants Corps, organized by the Lutheran Church and Catholic Charities, and they're certainly processing migrants through the airport in El Paso and other airports along the border. But then again, I think the Biden administration knows that this has to stop if they want to win the elections in November. They're going to do everything they can to at least show that they're doing something.
All right, we're going to leave it right there. Tony Payan of Rice University, thank you so much for your insights. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you.